Hello, this is The Real Review, bringing you the week's big releases reviewed in one juicy, spoiler-free roundup, telling you just how it is.
Today we're taking a ride with Tom Hardy from Birmingham to London, where he turns a mundane car journey into the most controversial ride of his life in Locke. It's out now, and here's the trailer.
Hi, love.
I need you to hold it together for me.
What's happened?
I'll fix it. It'll all go back to normal.
Ooh, interesting one, Locke. I'm not so sure what I thought of it. Bear in mind, I saw it at the London Film Festival quite a while ago, during the middle of the day. Probably actually maybe the right time to go and see it. Something not quite blockbustery, something a little bit different. But it didn't really float my boat. What did you think?
I liked it. I thought the acting was sensational. Tom Hardy really held my attention throughout the entire thing, and you know he's sort of front man on the poster and everything else you see. But there's a lot of sort of the voice cast, the
actors in it. It was just their voices.
Yeah, but they are very good. You've got Olivia Colman, Andrew Scott, Ruth Wilson. All of them make a really big impact. And they were really, really good and helped the film a lot as well. So I really enjoyed that too.
Okay, interesting. I do not disagree with any of that. I think Tom Hardy is such an incredibly accomplished actor. He does brilliantly in each and every role that he does. So I've got no qualms with that, and also the supporting cast as well. It's just the format really for me. And if I'm honest, things like Phone Booth I'm not a huge fan of, which probably maybe some people at home will be the same. So it divides whether or not you like that kind of single real-time scaled film. Really depends on the person watching it, so it's not going to be for everyone. Particularly the fact that it is Birmingham to London. I have done that trip a number of times. I have driven home, spoken to a number of people on the phone. Bear in mind I didn't have the same personal issues as Ivan Locke, I get that. But at the same time, it didn't quite mesh with me. It's only 2 and a bit hours to get from Birmingham to London. How can your life change so much in that time? I'm not so sure. But I mean, there are good ththings. I'm not saying it's a bad film, but it just wasn't really for me.
No, it's interesting. So, I mean, for me, I did sort of feel the personal stakes that Ivan was going through throughout the film, and I thought it was very sort of intriguing as you go along, because you don't sort of get the full picture until really maybe halfway through the film that it really starts to come into focus, but you don't really get the full thing until the end of the film. And I thought it was very interesting how they sort of slowly but surely gave you more bits of information. Okay, he's done this, all that sort of stuff, and that was really well played out too.
Yeah, it's a really interesting puzzle. I think the main crux of my issue with it is that I didn't really empathise with Ivan Locke. I just thought he was a nasty man to have cheated on his wife, and you know, going through this, I kind of a bit like, well, yeah, sorry, spoiler alert, and kind of going, well, Serbs, you're right, you kind of find that out from the beginning. Something's going on. He's talking to 2 women. It's not that big a spoiler. And at the end of the day, I found him a bit creepy. I found his voice quite creepy. His Welsh accent's a great Welsh accent, Tom Hardy, but it was just that little bit creepy.
Okay, here's it. Welsh accent or Bane accent? Which one's better?
Bane, big time.
Cool.
But listen, Amon, you liked it. I'm not so sure about it. What do you think is the real deal of this film?
I think if you are a fan of sort of single location dramas, because it won't be for everyone, but if you're a fan of that sort of style, I think you find a lot to like in this film. It's very well performed, and yeah, I would recommend it. Okay,
I would say if you are a fan of Tom Hardy and his work, it's definitely one to go and watch. If you're just intrigued by it, then definitely go and check it out, but I'm not so sure if you're going to be thrilled by it, but maybe you will. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
This is Ivan Locke.
We have a situation here. You're the man in charge of the entire operation, but you've decided you ain't gonna be there.
I'm not gonna turn back.
Hey, Dad, are you coming back?
Sean, something's happened. I need you to hold it together for me. It'll be a long night.
Well, there's the real review on Locke. So to keep up to date with the real deal on films here and on Twitter, make sure you follow us. But for now, thanks for watching.